time for carving up the context. Here we go. The context to this game is the fact that Brock Purdy is dealing with a loss at left tackle in Trent Williams, a loss in Deebo Samuel. And listen, Deebo, we forget, missed some time last year, and the Niners offense was it sputtered at times. And Deebo didn't have the season that he thought he would have in 2022, but Deebo is still a very valuable member to that 49ers offense. And you say, well, Bryce, you're making excuses for Purdy. Okay, let's take the Mahomeses and the Burrows and the Lawrence, top of the league. Let's put those guys aside. If we think about who's in Brock Purdy's category as a quarterback, if we think about Jared Goff, if we think about somebody like a Kirk Cousins, again, who played it very well on Monday night. If guys like that are missing, one of the greatest left tackles of all time, it's an excellent pass rush, missing their number one receiver and number one gadget guy to a certain degree in Deebo Samuel on the road, wouldn't we give them a little bit of grace? Sure, criticize them for not playing well, yes, but some context, again, does need to be provided. And this notion that, his numbers are very similar to what Jimmy Garoppolo was when he was in San Francisco. Again, context matters, folks. Numbers certainly do not lie. They do not lie, but they don't always provide the proper context that needs to be provided to them. By every analytic possible, by every bit of film you could possibly watch on Brock Purdy, can you not see the fact that Kyle Shanahan trusts him significantly more than he trusted Jimmy Garoppolo to take shots down the field? Again, throwing picks is going to happen when you take shots. By the way, that's what drove me crazy about Derek Carr on Thursday night. Like, dude, stop dinking and dunking. As talented as Alvin Kamara is, he should not have 12 catches. He should not have double-digit catches. Those should be going to Michael Thomas, Chris Olave when he's not getting in trouble off of the field. Guys like that. Get the ball to those playmakers. Stop taking just the little dink and dunk. That's not going to win you winning football games at the highest level if you want to go anywhere in this league. Brock Purdy understands, and Kyle Shanahan understands, that he's got a guy who can hit the accurate balls down the field. We've seen him do it time and time again. We saw him do it against that vaunted Cowboys defense. We saw him do it against the New York Giants, whose defense has kind of found its way to a certain degree. Saw him do it against them. Saw him do it against the Pittsburgh Steelers. Teams struggle to break 20 against them. Brock Purdy said, I'm going to cut you. I'm going to do you one better. Scored 30 on this defense. On a defense that had TJ Watt, a defense that had Minkah Fitzpatrick and Alex Highsmith, all these playmakers for my Steelers. It didn't matter for Brock Purdy. He was still making the throws in and outside the pocket. He missed some throws. It's the weirdest. I think people really struggle with this idea that Mr. Irrelevant, which Brock Purdy being the last pick in the 2022 NFL draft, that he can somehow be good to really good to quarterback for a Super Bowl contending and potentially, who knows, Super Bowl winning team. I think it's something we struggle with, not we, but people at the time struggle with Brady. Like, guys, pick 199, like he shouldn't be this good. It has to be the system. It has to be Belichick. And you heard it would obviously that narrative really quieted down throughout the course of Brady's career. But you even heard when Brady left New England and went to Tampa Bay, you heard, okay, yeah, now Tom's going to get exposed as a system quarterback and Belichick's going to flourish. And of course, any smart football person knew at that time. And it was found out pretty quickly that was not the case at all. Matter of fact, it was vice versa, that it was Tom who was carrying Belichick all this time. I'm not in any way implying that it's Brock carrying Shanahan, because Shanahan, I think, is one of the 3 or 4 best offensive minds in the sport, probably top 3, along with Andy Reid, Sean McVay's in that discussion as well. Like that, he's in that class. He is a fantastic coach. But we struggle with this idea that a late round pick, for the record, I think it's why we still, if a guy is struggling and he was a top 5 pick, top 10 pick, the excuse train for guys like Carson Wentz just kept going on and on. It's like, guys, he's missing easy reads. He's throwing interceptions. We're like, bro, what were you trying to do there? Again, Brock Purdy's last pick at the end, guys, there's under a minute left. They're trying to go down the field. No timeouts, win the game. Those happen. Yes, Brock Purdy did not play amazing You're not going to every start. And by the way, Sam Darnold, who I think is a very good backup, see how he looks against the Cincinnati Bengals. Let's see, because again, I think he's a good backup. But we've seen quarterbacks the Kyle Shanahan system, bona fide backups, really struggle with Shanahan, with Kittle, with all these playmakers, Ayuk, Debo. Like this kind of context, this kind of stuff matters. So let's see, what's the line for this game? Because it's San Francisco minus 3.5. So they have it as about a field goal game, and the Niners are the home team, so they think these teams are pretty evenly matched with no Brock Purdy. Let's see how well Sam Darnold plays. Okay, can we do that? It's just it's weird criticism. And by the way, it's a little bit of a flip-flopping of assessment and evaluation of Brock Purdy's play, where first 5 games, oh my God, he's an MVP candidate, which even I, as a sturdy Purdy guy, never went that far. Like, okay, he's not the most valuable player in the league. I mean, I love Purdy. Love him. He's not the most valuable player in the league. But then it's now the last couple weeks, oh, he can't play. Oh, this Niners team's carrying him. Come on. First of all, let's please stop being so dang reactionary on players. It's a 2-game losing streak. There's no quarterback currently playing unless your name is Tyson Bagent of the Chicago Bears. Virtually every starting quarterback across the NFL has lost back-to-back starts and probably not played that well in those. I mean, I remember 2 years ago, Mahomes had Tyreek Hill and Travis Kelce in the offensive line. He had like a month stretch. We're like, dang, where'd Patrick Mahomes go? Well, Mahomes doesn't play and looking so hot. And Mahomes is certainly a better quarterback than Brock Purdy. He's has potential to be one of the greatest ever. I think he's already the 4th best ever. But even the best had these stretches where you're like, okay, you got to work out the kinks a little bit. Brock's going to be fine. Brock's going to be in that position where he's going to put the 49ers in position once he gets back healthy. Hopefully he does pretty soon coming off of this concussion, him being in concussion protocol right now. San Francisco will be fine. Let's not overreact to 1 off game or 2 off games rather. I don't, the coverage of Brock Purdy is starting to remind me a little bit of the Dak Prescott coverage. I got to be honest with y'all, where it's, of course, the only difference in that is when Dak plays well, crickets. When he plays bad, everybody loses their minds. Brock, people go crazy when he plays well. People go crazy when he plays bad. So maybe that's like a badge of honor. I'm not sure. But again, context has got to be provided to these rough outings. Brock, I've never said he was the level of quarterback where if everything goes wrong, if the fit hits the shan, so to speak, he can still carry you to a win. I said, let me put the graphic up real quick because, again, context matters. It does in these discussions in terms of the tiers of quarterbacks and how we view them in terms of how far they can take your teams. Where is it? Where I said my blank check guys in the NFL. Blank check quarterbacks in the NFL. Okay, I'm loading the graphic right now. The 8 best quarterbacks in the league in terms of I can trust them. I've seen them when stuff isn't going their way and they're missing players or their defense isn't backing them up or their coaching isn't giving them a break necessarily or all the above at times. These to me are the 8 quarterbacks in all of football that I'm like, I've seen them carry guys. That's why I call them blank check guys, because I say whatever the quarterback market is, I'm fine paying you whatever you want. For the podcast audience, Mahomes, Burrow, Lawrence, Hurts, Lamar, Dak, Herbert, Allen. Those 8. Brock is not in that discussion. But just because he's not does not make him a bum. I don't think Jared Goff's in that discussion. I love Jared Goff. I bought back into Jared Goff stock a year ago. So it's the coverage around this guy is odd at best. It's really weird. So for this week's edition of Carving Up the Context, man, y'all got to relax on the Brock Purdy stuff. Come on. Let's see how good they look with Sam Darnold. And by the way, I was. Thanks so much for watching the show on YouTube, and be sure to go click that big red subscribe button and check out the other clips and full shows from Carving It Up Live, as well as our other incredible content creators here on the Grid Network.